There we go. I was staring at the clock. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing well this morning. It's Thursday, March 26th. Can't believe it's already getting close to April. Hard to believe. That means Easter's approaching. Spring is supposed to be here. We get teased with 70 and sunny, and then it becomes overcast for an entire week. But I think the overcast weather is pretty much summing up probably the feel and the vibe going around these days. But how's everybody doing? I'm starting to get anxious, people. I'm starting to get anxious. I'm starting to get restless. I'm starting to get, I understand the uncertainty and I'm embracing it and I'm trying to maintain positivity and talking about it and owning it, but I can't deny the anxious feelings and the restlessness and, just I don't know any other word but anxious, but I don't know if I'd say I'm nervous, but I'm excited. I'm anxious. I'm ready for the next thing, but I still think we're a long ways away from that. So that anxious feeling or that anxious emotion and attitude we're gonna have to manage. I'm gonna have to manage, and I'm sure a lot of you out there are feeling the same way. Students out there, parents maybe too. I don't know anybody else that's watching. I've been posting a couple workout videos. Let me know if those work. I don't know if people got weights and things like that at their house. It'd be easier to do some stuff. What's up, B? He didn't want to be in the picture. But something if you don't have any type of equipment at home, I thought that would be something that would work for a lot of people. I'm doing it myself. I'm by far not in the best shape of my life, and like yesterday, kind of really kicked my butt. Good thing there was a lot of mobility and stretching intertwined with some of the calisthenic stuff because he went upstairs. I got good heart rate up, so it was working for me. Hopefully, it works for you. We're gonna look to add on to that. Day 3, I might do tonight. Get it out there because I'm getting them out there a little late. That way you can maybe have that come Friday a little earlier in the day rather than maybe 11 o'clock at night. And so, but anyways, you're at least getting it the next morning. So I'd love to hear if you guys like them or whatnot. I'm definitely pushing those out to the kids, putting it out through Google Classroom and everything as well. So kind of going along with working out and things that we talked about earlier and some of these live streams or some of the recordings that we've done, talking about how are we going to get through this? What are you doing? What works well for you? What are you struggling with? One thing I wanted to talk about today and something I've been trying to do for myself, and it's been difficult, actually. I feel like it's almost easier when I'm teaching and I'm coaching and I'm in there with a group of kids and I can personally reflect and work on myself when I'm around you guys, the kids, or at least fellow staff members and colleagues. And it's tough. It's tough not being able to have those accountability partners and that support system and that daily routine and structure that you used to. For me, I'm noticing that's a safety net. So the things I'm going to talk about today, I've noticed that they're really hard for me to do on my own. And without that support system, without that safety net, without those people that I'm around on the daily. And it's all going to revolve around habits. And huge shout out to James Clear, his book Atomic Habits. I tell you what, I was never much of a reader, and I really struggle with that. I'm really open that with my kids. And once I learned how to learn, and once I learned to love to learn, I became a better reader. I learned to love to read. I'm a huge Audible. I'm a huge audio reader, books on tape and things like that. But I do really well if I can intermix and read a little bit out of a book as well as listen and things like that. But anyways, his book and a lot of people that have commented on his book, great things. It's unbelievable some of the small nuggets, the tidbits that are in there that you can take instantly and apply it to your daily. And I'm not even completely through the book yet. But anyway, so I got talking about habits today. And for me, I'm struggling doing an inventory, just trying to figure out what are my habits. Not even, I'm starting to label them good and bad, but for the beginning, like it was hard to even just go through what are some of my habits. What is it that I habitually do, and then now I'm labeling them. Like what are my good habits? What are my bad habits? Um, Something I read in the book or whatever that makes a lot of sense is what are some things that they're habits right now that help make things work right now, but maybe long term actually maybe have a negative effect. So, how is it good or is it bad? How do you term that, and how do you make that relative to your life? So for me, that was big because there's a lot of like habit things that I have right now that make my daily life or make my work or my job or whatever it is simpler. And I talk about easy versus hard all the time. And we want things to be hard. We want to embrace the hard. We don't want things to be easy. That doesn't mean they need to be really difficult though and complex. Simplistic, simple is the best. Shout out to Kobe Bryant, the Mamba. He talks about doing the basics, the fundamentals at the highest level, highest intensity possible. So it's not like he's doing any crazy moves. He's just doing the basics, the fundamentals, the simple things better than anyone else. I think about that as life too, like in your daily life and the daily grind. And hi, Jersey. Get out of here. She likes the camera too much. But that daily life, do the simple things well, and then do them really well, and then do them all the time, and then find that next level. And when I'm talking about habits, and at least what I'm talking about today are what are some simple habits that you can do that change your life, that make your life better, and then can you do them at an even higher level once you know what those are. And if you have bad habits, that's okay. I'm not here to tell you necessarily, or I'm not an expert on it yet by any means, on how to change your bad habits. But the first step is being aware. You need to be aware of what's bad and what you're doing habitually that isn't necessarily having a positive impact on your daily life. Maybe it's your mentally, physically, social, emotional health. I talked about relationships yesterday. Maybe some of those habits sometimes intertwine and make some of those relationships unhealthy or just a struggle and hard to maintain things. So with all that, make an inventory. What are my habits? What are some good ones? What are some bad ones? And then you need to circle or star the ones that, boom, I love them. I'm going to own these. This is what allows me to do what I do. But I don't know if I'd say they're good, but like I'm going to keep them. I'm going to maintain them. I'm going to keep doing me. And then what are some ones that are holding you back? What are some ones that are dragging down? What are those anchor habits? Right, that are not allowing you, but they're making you drag your feet a little bit. They're sinking you, and you need to X them or cross them out. And then the next step would obviously be changing a little bit. And I'll probably say something tomorrow a little bit about changing habits and the power of change and how that's possible. Personal experience, and then stuff that I've read, stuff that I hear from other people. Because again, I'm not an expert, but things that work for me, things that I've seen work in other people's lives, whether you're a student athlete, whether you're a parent, friend, etc. And then what are some new habits? And that should be motivating. That should be inspiring a little bit. Surprisingly, I think it's difficult for people though to think about new habits. What do I need to add to my life to make it simpler? Right? Doesn't have to be complex. That doesn't mean simple isn't hard though. Doing the simple things really well all the time, very, very hard. But we need to learn to appreciate that. And I think the sooner we can and the more often we can do that, the more beauty we're going to find in adversity, the more beauty we're going to find in the situations we're in right now, opportunities, experiences, etc. So habits, good, bad. What are you gonna maintain? What are the ones you love? What are the ones you're gonna keep? What are you gonna change? What do you want? You got to get rid of. And I think that's the easy part is what do I got to get rid of? I got to stop eating so many sugars, right? That's the easy thing. I got to stop putting sour cream on everything I do. I don't know. Stop having dessert after every meal. That's a lot of nutritional stuff. Those are the easy ones. But then, like I said, the tough one that I think everybody needs to try is what am I going to add? What am I going to do new? What is a habit I'm going to create? Maybe it's walking every night after supper as a family. Maybe it's just myself. Maybe it's just getting up and walking. Maybe it's stretching every morning. Maybe it's listening to a book during the shower. Maybe it's reading a chapter before you get in the shower. Whatever the case is, create a new habit. And so my challenge to you today, everybody out there, is make an inventory of your habits. What are they? Good, bad? What do I got to change? What am I going to add? What am I going to maintain? Power of habits, the power of self-awareness, and what you do with that power is gonna be on you. And I think that investment in yourself is always what you're looking for, to better oneself, to continue on that journey to be the best version of you. Right at about 10 and a half minutes here today. Just wanted to give a shout out to my together. She is allowing me to obviously do this right now too, but this is the first time we've probably been around each other on a daily basis during the week when it's not a weekend. And just a shout out to her and myself for making things work here, and our beautiful family, and watching our kids grow up. And as hard as this is, there's still a lot of beauty in it. There's still a lot of joy. It's not a vacation. It is a break, but looking back at it, I don't know if we're ever going to get this opportunity again to spend this much time spending with our kids, working and learning and teaching and growing, and communicating and learning each other. And so, as stressful and as frustrating and maybe even annoying as it is sometimes, I'm very grateful for the opportunity we have, and I'm looking forward to see what this is gonna do for everybody, including myself, when we get out of here. Stay inspired, stay motivated. Grandpa always said, keep your nose to the grindstone. Stay safe, stay out of trouble. See you tomorrow.